Alright everybody, it's almost time to slam! Thanks to Entertainment Weekly, we have a dozen new first look photos for Space Jam 2: A New Legacy, giving us our first majorly substantial look at the film. So what are we all waiting for? I'm breaking them all down right here. Before we get into this, don't forget to hit that like button down below. It does wonders in getting my content out there, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to keep up to date with all the cartoon news. Alright, let's dive right into this. Firstly, we've got a couple of fantastic glam shots of LeBron surrounded by the Toons. Of course, there's Daffy, Lola, Bugs, Tweety and Taz, who'll be making up a portion of the Toon Squad in this new film. It's great to see the Toons in their traditional hand-drawn animated designs here. While all the Toons take on classic designs, it's nice to see Lola revert to her original Space Jam 1 design in these new images. We will of course see soon that we will be getting CG versions of the characters in the film as well, as it's been previously confirmed that we will be getting both in the movie. I'm guessing it's likely, just as Michael Jordan did in the first, LeBron will travel to Toontown where he'll meet the characters in their original form, until they're transformed into 3D designs once they're in the real world, or at least the digital gamified world of the AI that LeBron gets sucked into. A few merchandise images have leaked recently, also showing LeBron in a traditionally animated form, leading me to believe that when he travels to their world, he'll take on their form, as they take on ours in our world. I will not show these images here, as Warners have been violently taking them down left, right and centre, but hopefully we'll see some of these officially released soon. Next up, we got this terrific action shot of LeBron going for a slam dunk on the insane digified basketball court that we've seen in the little footage that we have of the film so far. I just love the colours of this thing, and the more I'm seeing of these jerseys in action, the more they just work for me. They complement the colour palette chosen in the film, and I'm totally on board now with the fresh new modern look. I'm loving the effects on here too, they just look fantastic. I love how the basketball is lighting up with electricity as LeBron goes in for his shot. Out of all the pictures, this is probably the one that gets me the most hyped. Of course, LeBron is jumping into some pretty big shoes for this role, and the article quotes him on his casting, saying, "I cried tears of joy. It's something Mike created and is his. I held that with a lot of responsibility." Another great shot here sees LeBron on the sidelines with Tweety Bird, one of our shots featuring the Toons in a CG design. I'm really loving Tweety's look here. That personality and attitude are just so classic. Animators have done incredibly well with bringing the original incarnations of these characters to life in CG animation. I also love here how Tweety manages to take on a cartoony look while still looking like something you could absolutely come face to face with in real life. We also get a look at the CG version of Lola Bunny, which looks great as well. Again, there's just something that looks so real about these characters, while also somehow looking a little bit hand-drawn, particularly if we look at the hands and the facial features here. I'm just really in awe of the blend of the two. Also notable in this image is the floor of the basketball court, which looks like it's got the design of an electrified circuit board. Attention in the detail is always welcome. And now for the man of the hour. Here is our first detailed look at the man himself, Bugs Bunny. The animation here is just absolutely first class, and I am shocked at how incredible this actually looks. This is traditional Looney Tunes, but converted into 3D. Again, the personality is spot on, and that expression is just so classic Bugs. The rendering on this thing is amazing too. I love the detail on the character's fur. Director Malcolm D. Lee is quoted as saying, "It was very important to me to be traditional about the Looney Tunes portrayals." And it really shows right here. If we look in the background of this shot, we've got what looks like a crowd of Toons and Warner Brothers characters that we know will appear throughout the film. Due to the out of focus nature of the photo, it's a bit hard to pick out who's actually here, but I can make out an Amazonian from the Wonder Woman films. We've known for a while that the film will be loaded with cameos from other Warner Brothers films, and giving us a little more info on that, the EW article mentions the following. When James is sucked into the WB server, he drifts through some of the studio's most famous films to track down his underdog squad. The article mentions films like Mad Max, Casablanca, The Matrix, and yes, Wonder Woman, as films we'll see cameos from throughout. Lee notes, we have a lot of WB characters at the game watching like they do at Rooker Park. We've got an awesome photo here of LeBron, Cedric Joe, who plays his son Dom, and Don Cheadle, who plays rogue AI LG Rhythm, the film's villain. Of course, this gives us our first look at the digital world of Space Jam 2, with the article calling it the serververse. And I'm just loving the look of it. Again, colors are fantastic, and I just really love the look of the effects in this film right here. This movie is going to be an absolute visual feast. Giving some more detail on the film's plot, the article notes, playing a heightened version of himself, James struggles to relate to Joe's Dom, who's much more interested in creating games than playing them. When Dom's tech skills draw the attention of a CGI humanoid named LG Rhythm, the father-son duo gets sucked into the Warner 3000 entertainment serververse, with the AI kidnapping Dom in the hopes of stealing some of the King's followers. In real life, he has about 80 million on Instagram. This being a Space Jam movie, a basketball game settles things once and for all. To save his son and escape this virtual reality, James must round up the Tunes, including a banished Bugs, to defeat the formidable Goon Squad. We also get another shot of the three characters on the court in what looks like Cheadle taking LeBron's son hostage. The article mentions that Cheadle doesn't consider LG Rhythm a bad guy, but rather an AI with a chip on his shoulder. He says of the role, half of the fun is going into the mind of an AI. What do they think about themselves? What do they want everyone else to see? Ryan Coogler, one of the film's producers, is quoted as saying of the relationship between LeBron and his son in the film, the general idea was the examination of black fatherhood, and how fatherhood could be unique to LeBron James specifically. James adds, there are parents who want to push their kids to do certain things because this is what they do, but sometimes you have to look into a kid and be able to have an open mind and ear to help them become the thing they've dreamed of. Of course, we'll get more members of the James family in the film as well, just as we did with Jordan's in the original. Playing LeBron's wife in the film is Shaniqua Martin Green, who says of her role, I would step back and marvel that I was part of something like this. Playing the other two on-screen James kids are Harper Lee Alexander and Sayer Wright. It's unconfirmed if the entire James clan will be sucked into the serververse or just LeBron and Dom, but I'm guessing probably not. It does look like they're watching a game unfold, but this could be on a television screen or potentially when the Toons make it into our real world and play a game here. Stepping outside of the magic for a little bit, we've got some nice behind the scenes photos here too. This one here features producer Coogler hard at work overseeing the creation of a new legacy. The photo shows Coogler in Video Village, likely watching dailies or watching as the film's being shot. Interesting to see on the screen here is what appears to be the basketball court that the Toons trained on with Jordan in Toontown in the first film. Another photo sees producer Maverick Carter on a green screen with Cheadle in between shots. Carter is quoted as saying, it's always about respecting Space Jam, but also how do we make a film that's interesting, matters to the culture, and is about something. And finally, we get a shot of director Lee with LeBron, with the article noting that both Lee and Cheadle gave him some acting training on set. LeBron says, just like in the NBA, I like to be coached by my coaches. I was the same way on set. With that is all the photos we've got for now, but the fact that we've gotten so many today, alongside some great new details on the film, simply means that a trailer really isn't that far away. I'm betting on within the next couple of weeks. And I, of course, will be right here when it drops. If you'd like to keep up to date with all the biggest cartoon news, don't forget to like and subscribe to see more regular installments like this. And if you're keen on diving deep into the history of all your favourite animated characters, don't forget to check out my continuing Cartoon Evolution series linked at the end of the video. And at that, I'm throwing it over to you. I want to know, what are your thoughts on our first major look at Space Jam 2: A New Legacy? Do you love it as much as I do? Fire away down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts.